Say my name.
DeOndre.
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 The one and only.
When they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
You know, this video, I should have been made a few days ago, but me and my wife were on vacation, you know, much needed. I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents, you know, my opinion on this whole, you know, submersible, this Titan submersible tragedy, you know, that happened. Because honestly, it really, the whole situation shouldn't have happened from the rip. I did manage to find some time to stream this whole incident. I'll show you the clips from the stream and everything, but you know, this whole thing with this submersible, if you guys don't know at this point, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you, if not all of you who are watching this, at least have heard about, or you know, kind of heard in passing, or been following this whole Titan submersible thing. So on June 18th, you know, it was about actually 10 days ago, the OceanGate Titan submersible imploded during its descent in the North Atlantic Ocean, and it was about 370 nautical miles off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. It was, you know, pretty much a tourist expedition to view the wreckage of the Titanic. It had the CEO of OceanGate, Stockton Rush. It had a few other members on board, I believe 4 others on board. Paul Henry Nergalet, I believe is his name. He was a French deep sea explorer and Titanic expert. They had a British businessman by the name of Hamish Harding, and Shahzada and Solomon Dawood, a Pakistani British businessman, and his son. Now, all of these people are, you know, pretty rich, you know, that went on this expedition. But all of them unfortunately lost their lives during this whole situation. You know, I just think that this whole thing was just really one big negligent idea by not only Stockton Rush, who is, you know, unfortunately passed away, but also OceanGate as a whole. You know, apparently this isn't the first issue that happened with OceanGate and Stockton Rush. You know, apparently he's been hot water before in regards to his, you know, submersibles, in regards to, you know, how he does business and how he, you know, builds his equipment, where he gets his stuff from. Like, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the safety of his submersible. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the clip of the stream and everything, but man, you know, my heart goes out to all of the passengers, you know, that were on board. It definitely unlocked a whole new fear. Like fear, this is unlocked. Okay, I don't think I'll ever, not that I would ever have done some shit like that, but if I ever had $250,000 to just blow, it definitely wouldn't be on something like this. All right, I mean, I would have probably got it if I was rich enough to have, you know, bought a ticket onto something like this. I probably would have got there, showed up, and I probably would have been like, you know what? Yeah, give me my money back. I'm out. You know, it's just, I can't. You know, but I just would never do anything like that in the first place, even if I had the money. Yeah, man, this whole situation was crazy. So yeah, we really gotta take a deeper look, okay, at what the hell is going on with this. What went on with this OceanGate Titan submersible thing? Because all week on my vacation, I was hearing about this, and I mean, of course I was following it, trying to do my best, you know, to enjoy my vacation, but also like pay attention to what was going on with this. And this was just a wild and crazy story, man. And unfortunately, I feel like it's mainly because of Stockton Rush's lack of wanting to go by the rules and just play by the rules and just do way too much. You know, he just he was biting off more than he could chew with this situation. And he's been told numerous times throughout this whole time with this OceanGate and this Titan thing, he's been told numerous times to not do what he just did. And this is the reason, because it led to a situation that was unfortunate like this, where, you know, people lost their lives. And they honestly didn't have to. And I've been seeing so many different memes and shit, like on Twitter and everything. You know, people, Twitter, no one takes anything fucking serious on the internet. So I automatically knew, like, once I got wind of this, like, the jokes just started flying. The jokes were ridiculous. You know, it's crazy. Like, now I'm not gonna lie, you know, like when I first saw some of the jokes, I did kind of chuckle a little bit. I did kind of laugh, but like, it's really not a laughing matter. Like, it's really this shit is serious. This shit is really serious, and it's unfortunate because of somebody's negligence. People had to lose their life, you know, and it's fucked up. It's unfortunate, but let's see what's going on, man.
The unthinkable became all too real this past week as we learned of the fate of undersea explorer Stockton Rush's Titan submersible on its way to the Atlantic grave of the Titanic. The questions, the second guessing, are likely to continue for a long time to come.
Last summer, a company called OceanGate invited Sunday Morning to join an expedition to the Titanic. At the time, I was thrilled.
Next time I come out of this doorway, I'll either be a changed man forever or cursing the bad weather.
As the whole world knows now, OceanGate's business was taking adventure seekers on these Titanic dives
Well, we're sitting on the Titanic.
Yeah. We're on the Titanic.
for $250,000 a ticket.
On a 250,000 buckaroos, okay? 250,000 Sonic the Hedgehog coins. 250,000 Scooby-Doo treats. That is crazy. Now, there have been like several other expeditions, but from what I've heard, there have been a lot of other close calls with this type of thing. You know, there have been past survivors that have come forward. They've been interviewed by different news outlets. You could tell it's definitely a traumatizing experience. And I listen, you don't got to tell me to do no shit like this, because this is a whole new fear for me. A whole new fear got unlocked for me on this whole shit, because I know damn well I wouldn't be doing something like this, even if I had $250,000 just to throw away at something like this. Like, and I get it, like people want to be adventure seekers and all of that, and that's all well and good, but bruh, there's so many other things that you could spend that 250 on if you want to be adventurous. I just don't understand this. I don't get this, man.
One of a kind carbon fiber submersible called the Titan.
Especially with all the
Carbon fiber
corners
is a
cut.
great material. It's better than titanium. It's better than a lot of other materials.
This is Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate and the designer of the sub. As he was piloting the sub to the Titanic, it imploded, killing him and his 4 passengers.
And it's crazy because I believe this is his son. I know the names, but it's just escaping me right now. His mom basically said that like he didn't even really want to go. He didn't even want to go on this whole thing. He just wanted to do it because he thought it would be a good Father's Day, experience, right? So he just wanted to support his dad. So he just went with his dad, but he didn't necessarily want to go. And he said, and I think the mom said that he, like the day of the trip, he was like really, really nervous. That gut feeling. It's that gut feeling where I don't know about this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about this. And he had it. And unfortunately, he was right. All because, this guy wants to cut corners. And listen, they all lost their lives. And as sad and unfortunate as that is, the reality of the situation is it didn't need to happen. And there have been other close calls, all stemming from this guy's negligence, right? Like there have been several other expeditions that he's went on with with other people, and it almost ended up the same exact way that this situation did.
We spent 9 days at sea with Rush last summer, and in wake of the tragic news, we thought you might like to see more of what we saw and hear more of what Stockton Rush said.
Titan wasn't like any previous deep-sea submersible. There was no dashboard, just a touchscreen computer and a single power button.
Hell no, bro. Fuck that. Yo, did y'all see James Cameron? Yeah, the guy that directed Titanic, right? The guy that was responsible for one of the highest grossing movies in Hollywood. I didn't realize that he was he was like a big deep sea diver kind of guy. Like I didn't know that. A lot of these people in Hollywood have like these other hobbies that we know nothing about. But yeah, like he really does that. Matter of fact, he holds the record for, hold on. So yeah, James Cameron, yeah, he made a solo diving endeavor, right? He designed the submersible himself, and he boarded it for deep sea diving, right? In order to make the movie Titanic, he had to repeatedly go to the shipwreck site several times in order to kind of get the ship as accurate as possible. So, you know, so he's been doing this a while, and I'm trying to say where I can see it. Yeah, so he made a record-breaking solo dive to 35,787 feet to the deepest point of Earth, and he has the same submersible in a museum somewhere for everybody to see. So that is, hold on, I wish a picture would show up. That is what James Cameron made, right? So going over here, this is what James Cameron made. Right? It cost $10 million. This is what Stockton Rush put everybody in. If I'm going to go to the fucking Titanic, which is like really fucking deep, I want my shit to look like this. I need to see wires. I need to see cords. I need to see communication systems. I need to see lights. I need to see buttons. That shit better look like that shit better look like NASA in a sub. Like, I mean, seriously, I need to see something that lets me know, okay, some time and effort went into this shit. All right, I need to see, like, you know, a steering system. I need to see something. This right here ain't gonna cut it, bruh. This ain't gonna cut it. That's real talk.
We only have one button, that's it.
Wait a minute, I've seen submersibles, and they are banks of controls, like cockpit after cockpit.
Exactly. And this is to other submersibles what the iPhone was to the BlackBerry.
But many of its components seemed...
What? Hold up a second.
Other submersibles what the iPhone was to the BlackBerry.
But
that is a crazy comparison. They said this is what the iPhone was to the BlackBerry? Nah, cuz.
many of its components seemed surprisingly cheap. For
Yeah.
views outside the sub, he had installed store-bought security cameras.
What?
As for the
My man put Ring cameras on the goddamn, I mean, they're not Ring cameras actually, but like, I mean, I'm being facetious, but like, my man put Ring cameras on the damn submarine. Dog, your shit needs to be military grade, dog. Not something I could just buy at Walmart. Like, what? What?
ceiling lights,
I got these from Camper World.
and then there was the steering unit.
We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on! So, it seems like a lot of the way you made this
That's
is by
crazy.
taking off-the-shelf parts and sort of MacGyvering them together.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God, dog. What? Who mans is this?
Oh my God!
Who mans is this, bruh? Like, he just straight up said it like, yeah, man, you know, I MacGyvered it. I'm not going in no fucking MacGyvered ass submarine. What? Something that was made out of goddamn plastic cups and toothpicks. Nobody got time for that, bro. Nobody got time for that. All because he wanted to save $1. Mind you, this man's a whole CEO. Damn, bro.
Does that not raise anybody's eyebrows in the industry?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely an outlier.
Why would you get on that dangerous sub? Well, first of all, Stockton Rush had the credentials.
He majored in aerospace engineering at Princeton.
Okay.
He designed and flew his own airplanes. He designed previous submersibles. Second, he was emphatic that the important parts of the Titan were rock solid, like the carbon fiber body, for which NASA served as a consultant.
There's certain things that you
Okay.
want to be buttoned down, and that's the pressure vessels. Once the pressure vessel is, you're certain it's not going to collapse on everybody, everything else can fail. Your thrusters can go, your lights can go, you're still going to be safe.
Third, I was convinced by an expert,
Nah,
P.H.
bro.
Nargeolet, the veteran deep-sea explorer who also perished in the Titan. Over the years, he'd been to the Titanic more than just about anyone.
Do I believe that the Titanic is haunted? I mean, it could be. I mean, there's a lot of souls that were lost on that thing, man. A lot of people that was lost because of that. It's possible, but I mean, this is just straight up, this dude just straight up was just negligent. Like, he just straight up just didn't give a fuck. He just wanted to save some money and, you know, cut corners. I mean, he was warned about this very thing years before this happened. So it's crazy, man. It's unfortunate that, you know, he passed away, but like it literally didn't need to happen.
How many times have you been?
With the last dive, 37 times.
You've been to the Titanic 37 times?
Yes.
Was there never a point when you wondered about the safety of the sub at that depth?
No. 2 or 3 years ago, I have a phone call with Stockton, and he explained to me that he was doing a lot of tests. He showed me the ways they were building the stuff. I say, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I have no problem.
He just took his word for it. That's essentially what he just said. Yeah, I mean, he showed me some stuff, but you know, I just took his word for it. I mean, you know, I trust him. Mind you, my man was in a whole lawsuit back in what, like 2019 about this very thing.
For them to dive in the sub.
I was also impressed by the sub's 7 redundant systems for returning to the surface.
These are roll weights. We can actually roll this up and those come off. That gains us some buoyancy to come back to the surface. Okay. These triple weights, we call them, are hydraulically driven.
Expedition Manager Kyle Bingham.
Underneath this tray hang these bags. We're around 35 pounds. And those hang down there. Typical dive will have 8 of them. We can also use our thrusters. We have enough power to thrust back up. And then under this last fairing here, we have our variable ballast tank, or soft ballast. It's an air bladder that we use a big 10,000 PSI air tank that's under the tail to fill that up, fill it with air, and then it helps bring us to the surface.
There were even sandbags that detach automatically after about 16 hours, even if everyone inside.
Yeah, but like, where's my tether? Like, where, like, I believe this thing wasn't even tethered to the boat or to wherever the hell, like, it was supposed to be. Like, this shit, nah, bro. Like, see, now I can't do anything. I remember me and the wife went, like, not scuba diving, but like, it's where like you're on this little like machine or whatever, and you put your head in this air-filled helmet, and they literally like submerge you underwater. You know, your head goes, you know, in the helmet or whatever. And then, bro, like, that was like one of the craziest mind fucks. So we were on a ship, and it was at least a good 10 of us, right? And I think there was like a 12 or 13-year-old, right, or whatever. So we're out there in Dominican Republic, and we are, you know, just chilling, right? We're out there. We weren't like super far, like we could still see like the you know, the land and everything. We could still see like all of that. But we were, you know, we were out a little ways, right? We were out there. We're like waiting our turn, right? Everybody else is going and they're doing the whole scuba thing. Like, we were both so nervous. Like, we were nervous as shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So when it comes time for our turn to go, you know, we were just kind of like, okay. I mean, like, the kid did it. So like, once the kid did it, we were like, all right, we gotta do it. Like, we can't not do this because the kid did it, right? Like, we can't be bitch made now, right? So we did it, and we get on the thing, we put our head in the helmet, right? It's filled with air. And once you go down, man, it's like, it's so crazy. So you just got to stay calm. Don't freak out. It wasn't nothing like this, but it was, you know, if anything ever like fucked up or went wrong, like, you know, they would literally like just pull you back up. But like, it was tethered to the boat that we were on. It ended up being fine. But like, even something as simple as that whole experience can definitely fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So imagine being in basically a metal tube coffin, you know, like going down to where the Titanic is. I mean, that's wild, man.
I had passed out. Their connectors would dissolve in seawater.
So you have a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup of a backup.
Correct.
All stations are reporting the dive is go. Please stand by.
Finally, the crew seemed to foster a culture of safety. There were checklists, inspections before and after every dive, and a 3 strikes rule. If 3 things seemed out of the ordinary, no matter how minor, they'd cancel the dive. I learned that the hard way on our own dive.
We're in the water, we're floating. Woo!
At this point, divers are supposed to detach the sub from its launch platform.
So apparently those floats there came off the platform, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
So we're scrubbing?
Yeah, I think that's the consensus up here.
Copy that.
I never did see the Titanic, and I wasn't unusual. In OceanGate's first 2 summers of Titanic operations, it spent a total of 50 days floating above the shipwreck site. But because of waves, bad weather, and malfunctions, the Titan actually made it to the Titanic only 12 times. But through it all, Stockton Rush defended his unconventional approach.
That's fucking crazy. So he actually they never made it down like below. Wow, man. Wow, they actually never got to the Titanic. So they made out lucky. They made out really, really lucky, because had everything, you know, been inspected, quote unquote, who knows what the situation would have been.
I mean, anything when you're trying something outside the box, people inside the box think you're nuts. Same thing when Elon Musk was doing SpaceX. Inside the box, everything's scary.
But as early as 2018, there was
Nah, bro.
concern about the Titan's design. A former employee says that when he raised safety concerns, Rush fired him. That same year, a group of
He
submersible
raised safety concerns, so you fire him. Damn. That is crazy.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yo, you fire my guy because he like, yo, I don't really know, boss. This kind of look a little sketch. All right, you fired. Get the fuck out of my face. Damn.
engineers urged Rush to seek certification of the Titan by a safety agency. Rush declined, saying that regulation would stifle innovation.
At some point, safety just is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to take some risk, and it really is a risk-reward question. I said, I think I can do this just as safely by breaking the rules.
I think I could do this just as safely by breaking the rules. Listen, I get it. Being adventurous, being a risk taker, I get that. But like, you do that with you. You do that with yourself, right? You climb fucking Mount Everest. You scuba dive in the ocean by yourself. Go mountain biking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You go you could jump out of a plane. Like, I mean, if you want to take risks, do it yourself. Don't take risks with people who are trusting their lives with you and what you created. Like, that's where I'm just like, bro, and I get it. Like, at the end of the day, it's their decision to want to go and do all this stuff. Like, the people who pay to be on these submersibles and go on these explorations, I understand, like, it's their choice at the end of the day. Like, and here's the thing. I believe they have to sign a waiver, right? Yeah, so here is the actual waiver. Like, here's the actual release of liability agreement from OceanGate, right? This is what TMZ got. And it literally is, what, a 3-page document? Like, it says, like, it's crazy. It literally says it right here, right? I acknowledge that all travel in or around the water on vessels of any type, including submersibles, entails both known and unanticipated risks that could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, death, harm to myself or third parties, or damage to my property. The risks include, without limitation, loss of footing, slips and falls on deck, particularly in inclement weather, falling objects on non-passengers, drowning, and malfunction or failure of the submersible, leading to death or serious injury. I understand the inherent risk in the activities that will be undertaken during the operation, and I hereby assume full responsibility for all risks of property damage, injury, disability, and death. Yeah, I mean, where do I sign? That's fucking crazy, man. I mean, I get it. Listen, like, waivers happen. Like, I get it. It's like companies pretty much saving their ass. But like, in situations like this, nah, bro, somebody got to be held accountable for this. That's crazy.
So, Captain McLaren, have you spent much time in submarines?
David, my total time under the water, divorced from the outside atmosphere, is a little over 5 3/4 years. No kidding. Fact.
Retired U.S. Navy submarine captain Alfred McLaren is not impressed by OceanGate's innovations.
I mean, would you fly in an airplane that somebody excitedly tell you, well, it's going to be a lot cheaper because we found a new way of attaching the wings? Yeah, right.
He theorizes that the Titan failed not because it was made of carbon fiber, but because it was made of 3 dissimilar materials: carbon fiber, titanium, and plexiglass for the porthole.
When you have different materials, different molecular structure, they have different coefficients of expansion and compression.
Right.
And then you make repeated cycles in depth. Of course you're going to work that seal loose. And that's why submarines don't run around with any portholes at all, come to think of it. It's a weak point.
I think there's a great, almost surreal irony here, which is Titanic sank because the captain took it full steam into an ice field at night on a moonless night with very poor visibility after he had been repeatedly warned by telegram, by Marconigram.
In an interview with Anderson Cooper, filmmaker and veteran Titanic diver James Cameron pointed out a sad parallel between Stockton Rush and the captain of the
Yeah, I mean, the irony is just staring you right there in the face. It's fucking crazy.
Titanic.
The arrogance and the hubris that sent that ship to its doom is exactly the same thing that sent those people in that sub to their fate.
The world mourns the loss of Stockton Rush, P.H. Nargeolet, and their 3 passengers, British billionaire Hamish Harding, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, and his son Suleiman.
Already there's talk of restrictions and regulations and lawsuits. Will the OceanGate disaster mean fewer people going adventuring? Well, every year people do die skydiving and scuba diving and climbing Mount Everest. Tragic every time, and yet people still keep coming. Some people just have that itch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna stop people from wanting to go, but they'll definitely not go in a fucking submersible probably ever again. So it definitely is gonna be another way of getting there, but they're not gonna stop getting there. They're not gonna stop going. That's for sure. That is for sure. So they're not gonna stop.
The risk of dying gives meaning to living. I think Stockton Rush was among them.
I wanted to be sort of the Captain Kirk. I didn't want to be the passenger in the back. And I realized that the ocean is the universe.
Man, oh man, boy, I tell you, boy. Listen, man, it's unfortunate what happened. It's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate what happened. You know, I'm so sorry that, you know, all those people lost their lives on that submersible. But I know I got a new fear, and that is submersibles. If I didn't have a fear of them then, I definitely damn sure have them now, especially ones that look like that. I don't know about lawsuits because they did sign a waiver, you know, so like there's really nothing legally that I feel like their families can do. I don't know, you know, I don't know. So, it's tough. It's tricky.